the tutorial that's going to show you how to do the woven shell stitch. I had a lady request that I do a video teaching how to do this stitch because she couldn't figure out from the tutorials, and then I gotta admit, the one that I was watching to learn this stitch was kind of difficult. I had to kind of just figure it out myself till I could understand finally what they were trying to get me to do. So I'm going to do my best to explain the best way how to do the stitch. And I have it kind of on darker light right now because you can't really see the stitches on this bright. Okay, maybe you can. It's kind of done in rows. Well, I should say it looks like it's diagonal, and it looks the same on both sides. Let me see if I can get a closer look at it. It's kind of hard to see the actual stitch itself, but you'll be able to see it better when you get going. Okay, so all you need for this is any size hook. I'm using a 5mm hook, size H hook, but you can use a bigger or a smaller hook if you like. And I'm also using worst weight yarn, 4-ply for the US, 10-ply for Australia. But also you can use whatever yarn you want and then get the correct hook size for the yarn you're using. And that's it. So get those items and I will show you how to get started. Okay, so this stitch calls for multiples of 6, and then when you get it about as long as you like, then just add 3 more stitches. So the multiples are 6 plus 3. So when you've got your chain and you're ready to start, let me get a little closer here. What they want you to do is you skip the first 3 chains because this is going to be counted as a double crochet. And then they want you to skip the next 3 chains because you're going to be working your weave stitch into the center of this chain. You're always going to be working in sets of 3, and you're always going to be working in the center of the 3. It's very important to keep this in mind for when we get started and it's going to be difficult for you to find the stitches. Always try to aim for the center of the 3. So we're going to be skipping this chain 3 as well and starting in the next stitch. So you should be skipping a total of 6 stitches and working into the 7th stitch from your hook. And you're going to be putting 3 double crochets into this 7th stitch from the hook. So again, you're working in 3, so you put 3 double crochets into that same stitch. Now, like I said, we're working in sets of 3, and you'll always be working in the center of the 3. So, like I told you before, this chain 3 that we skipped just a moment ago, we're now going to be using the center chain of that. So you'll have 3 chains here, and then you'll have this 3 chain here, which they're counting as a double crochet. So you're just going to ignore this first 3, and you're working only with the second set of 3 chains. And you'll only be working in the center. So you want to chain 3. You always want to chain 3 before you back up to start working your shells. So you'll chain 3 and go into that center chain, which is going to be, let me count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the 5th chain from where you began. So if you prefer, you can count down 5 chains and go into that 5th chain and do 3 double crochets. And remember, you're working in front, so make sure your work is in front, but it should be naturally. I think it would be a little harder to actually work behind than in the front. So now you have this arch going. 1 set of 3 double crochets, then the chain 3, and then 3 sets of the double crochets. Maybe a bit bright, too bright for you to see this color. Okay, so every time you get finished, oh, I should say this is only for the first row. So when you've gotten finished with your arch, you want to skip one stitch, and I know it's kind of hard to see, it's because it's kind of tight here, but that is the stitch that you skip, this tight one. And you'll go right into the next one and do a double crochet. And then you'll want to repeat. You'll skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Remember, you'll be working in the center of these 3 stitches in a moment. And then the 4th stitch, 4th chain, you want to do 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And every time you do 3 double crochets to begin your, your woven stitch, you'll always chain 3. So you do your first 3 double crochets of the set, chain 3, and then this is where you back up. Remember, one of your chains is going to be really close to your double crochets here, so it may be hard to see, but this is 1, 2, and 3. And again, you're going to be working into that center chain, and you'll be putting 3 double crochets there. Sometimes you can just turn your work, push the rest back to pop up that chain once you've gotten one done. It's 1, 2, and 3. Now you finished your second arch. And again, you'll skip a stitch, just this tight one here, and then in the next one, put a double crochet. And then that ends the next section. Now again, repeat, skip 3 stitches, and then the 4th stitch, going to do 3 double crochets. You're starting your next arch now. So you do 3 double crochets, and again, after your first set of 3, you always want to chain 3, 3, 3, 3. And then again, working in the center stitch of the chain 3 that you just skipped, you'll put 3 double crochets in that center chain. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm at the end of my row here, so I'm going to double crochet in the center. Now I began with a chain of 21, but like I said, the multiples are 6 plus 3, so you can make it as long as you want. Usually I do a scarf and I use around 20 stitches, but this one pulls in on itself. So as you can see here, it just makes a very skinny scarf. So I would definitely not do 21 stitches if you're making a scarf. I would do wider. Excuse me. But I'm only doing this just to show you how to do the stitch, so I'm not keeping it. So when you get to the end of the round, you want to chain 3. You will always chain 3 at the end of a round. And then you turn. Now there's 2 ways that they begin the round. One is where you put 3 double crochets in the first stitch, and then later you'll just get started right on making an arch here, the woven stitch. And the way you can tell what you do at the beginning of each round is how close your arch is. If there's already an arch here, then you know that you start this round with doing 3 double crochets in the beginning. So in the very first stitch, we're going to put 3 double crochets. And then we're going to find this top arch, chain 3 here, and you're going to put a single crochet. right into that space, big old space there, left by the chain 3. And then this is where you start your first woven shell stitch. And this is what you're going to be looking for from now on. Let me see if I can lay this down here. On your own project, I'm sure you can see even better. Every arch has 2 fans in it. Now, there's 3 facing this direction, 3 facing this direction. So I'm calling this the gap, where you have 3 facing this way, 3 facing this way. And what they want you to do is use the center of these 3 double crochets that you did over here. You want to use the center stitch. So you're going to only be using the center double crochet. And then when you have to go back, like we did on the first row, you're going to be using the center double crochet of this 3 double crochets on this side. So you're basically bridging the gap between this double crochet in the center and this double crochet in the center. So you're going to be doing 3 double crochets in the center of this, chain 3, and then backing up and going into the middle double crochet on this side and putting 3 double crochets in the center of that. So we just single crocheted in our gap of 3, and now I'm going to go right into the center double crochet on this side and put my 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And again, after your first set of 3, always chain 3. And then again, like I said, now you're going to be going and working 3 double crochets into the center of this 3 double crochets. You're always going to be working in the center. So now we're going to, like I showed you before, we're bridging that gap. So we're just going to back up and put 3 double crochets in the center of this one. And then when you get done making your woven part, you'll single crochet again in this big gap where there's the chain 3. Then again, you'll be bridging the gap by putting 3 double crochets worked in the center of this set of 3 double crochets, and then you'll be backing up and putting 3 double crochets in the center of this double crochet. So I'm going to skip way over, which if you want to know the exact amount of stitches, you have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, which is the top of the double crochet here, and then 5, which is the first double crochet. So if you want to know as many as you need to skip, you'll skip 5, and in the 6th stitch, you'll start your 3 double crochets. And that's the first set. So chain 3, and then you're backing up, and now you're going to be working 3 into, if you want to know exactly where, it's going to be the 2nd stitch from where we skipped. It's the middle double crochet of this 3 clusters. So 1, 2, and 3, and I just push everything else back just so I can work in that one. Now again, after that, single crochet into that big old chain 3 space. Now we've come to the end, and every time you start a row by putting 3 double crochets in the beginning stitch, you'll end it the same way. When you chained at the beginning, you chain 3, that's counted as a stitch, and then they just add 3 more double crochets. So this is pretty much a cluster of 4, and this is what you're going to be doing on the end. You'll find the top of your chain. So this is the last 3 double crochets of the round, so you're going to skip this. and you're going to find the very next stitch, which is this one, and it should be the top of your chain. You can count down 1, 2, 3, 4 and find that it's the top, because remember, you're supposed to have a double crochet and then skip stitch, so you should have 3 and then 4. Anyway, so go up the 4th chain from here if you want to count there, or after your cluster, the very next stitch to the left, and you will want to put 4 double crochets into that stitch inside that chain, top of the beginning chain. 3 and 4. Whoops. So close up, it's so easy to go off camera. Okay, so I got my 4 done now in this beginning stitch. Then again, you always want to chain 3 at the beginning of a round, then turn. Now here, we don't have the arch so close up. We have it farther away, so on a row like this, you always want to begin by bridging the gap. So as usual, you're going to take these set of 3s on this side and this set of 3 on this side. Be careful because there's one from the previous row that's kind of popping up, but that's the previous row. You're going to only be working with last round. So you have these 3 facing this way and these 3 facing this way. So those are the 2 that you're going to be bridging the gap on as usual. So again, you want to start by going on this side first, working 3 double crochets in the center double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3, and again chain 3, and then find the center double crochet on this side. This chain 2 or chain 3, I'm sorry, at the beginning, just ignore that for now, and you're only working with the actual double crochets done. And pick the middle one and put 3 double crochets in this stitch. Sorry, going off camera again. 1, 2, and 3. And again, after every set of woven stitches, you'll single crochet in that arch, chain arch, and then you're ready to make your next set. Again, you're working with these 3 and these 3. You're bridging the gap. So starting from this side first, the farthest side, put 3 double crochets in the center double crochet there, and chain 3, and then finish by finding the double crochets here. It's weird because there's this chain, this arch that almost looks like a stitch, but it's not. There's these 3 double crochets, and then you did your chain 3 and 3 double crochets. So you're finding the center one here from last round. 1, 2, and 3. Putting 3 in there. And then again, after every set, find that chain 3, big old chain 3 space, and you're ready to start again. So we're going to bridge this last gap by finding the middle double crochet on this side and putting 3 double crochets in this one. Then we're going to chain 3 because we need to back up, and this chain 3 helps us be able to do that. Find this next set of 3 facing you on this side, find the middle stitch and put 3 double crochets in that middle stitch. And there's no arch here to be able to single crochet into, so this is the end of the round where you will put a double crochet on the top of the beginning chain, because we did our 4 on this side, which is always going to be every other row, and then when you have these 4 from the previous row, when you've come up to the end, you just got done with a arch, you'll want to find the top of the chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, which is here. Find the top, and you'll want to do a double crochet into that top of the chain 3, which basically just brings your ending of your round right up to your arch and secures it. So you always know when you need to do a double crochet at the end of the round versus doing the 3 stitches, or I should say 4 double crochets at the end of the round. It always depends on where your arch is. And now you know you have an arch here really close to you. So when you chain 3 and you start this round, you know that you need to just go right into this very first stitch and do your 3 double crochets. This is going to be the round where you do 3 double crochets at the beginning and 4 double crochets on the end. And then you single crochet to the top. Always going to alternate. So you'll have double crochet, then the next round should be 3 double crochets to start with. You'll always be alternating. And again, now you've come to where there's a gap, and again you want to bridge the gap the same way by finding the double crochet facing this side. Find the middle one and put 3 double crochets. Chain 3, then again find the center one on this side, center double crochet, and put 3 in this one, and then single crochet into the big space. Excuse me. Another way you can think of these sets of 3, it's kind of like a spotlight. When you want to spotlight something, you put it facing this way and this way if you have 2 lights in a room. And that's basically what you're looking for, are those 2 sets of 3s that are facing each other like that. And you're going to be bridging the gap in between them. So you're finding the center double crochet on this side and doing your 3 double crochets. Chain 3, then you back up and find the one facing this direction, find the center double crochet, and then you'll be putting 3 double crochets in there. And you'll just be repeating this over and over and over again. And again, after you've completed a set, you single crochet in that chain 3 space here. And then end of the row, and see where you began. You began by doing 3 double crochets in the beginning stitch. So you want to do 4 double crochets in the top of the chain on this side. One, 2, 3, and 4. And now it's even. 4 on this side, 4 on this side. Then again, always chain 3 at the end of the round and turn. And now since your arch is far away, you want to start off by bridging the arch. So at the very beginning, you're going to already skip all the way over into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, into the 7th stitch from the beginning. And you're going to start your 3 double crochets into the center double crochet, then chain 3 and back up, find the center one here. Again, ignore this chain at the beginning, just find these 3 and double crochet in the center stitch of this set of 3. 1, 2, and 3. And again, after each set, find your chain space and single crochet. And this is, you can start to see your pattern going now. And this is going to be the same over and over and over again. You'll bridge the gap on those 2. And since you started with you chain 3 and then you just got right into the woven stitch, you know at the end of this one you'll find the top of the chain and put a double crochet. So you'll have your chain 4, or I should say your 4 double crochets, and then you'll have your double crochet. You can check either way, because you'll be alternating. If you have a bunch at the end here, you know you have to do a single. So at the end of your row, find the top of your chain and put a double crochet. And that's it. You're just going to be alternating those 2 rows over and over again. I am going to try to get a pattern with pictures on my site, but if you have any questions, then please feel free to leave a comment in the video below, or you can do a search for the woven stitch and you can find the original pattern. Maybe that will be easier for you, but I hope that I was able to explain it the best way that I can, and I hope the person who requested this video will be able to finally make this stitch. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this tutorial, please don't forget to like and share this video, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.